Hey, everybody. Hi, this is me, Darson Chauskas from Easy Markets, and this is the Daily Picture International breaking news section of on our channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, welcome everybody. Look, I'm going to pick up on Canadian CPIs. We have the U.S. retail sales and industrial production coming out today. So look, before we jump into all that, let me just quickly go through our risk disclaimer. So yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. So now then, excuse me. Look, the thing is that, of course, tomorrow we have the big event. We have the Fed interest rate decision. So I'm not gonna talk about that today, but I'll pick up on this tomorrow. But look, the thing is, today we have some data as well. Also, just by the way, before we jump into that economic calendar, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. So, economic calendar. So today, like I said, we have a bit of data coming out. So we have the Canadian inflation numbers. So yes, let's start off with those. At the moment, we don't really have much expectations here for example, for the headline inflation number. I can see that the previous one came out at 2.5. But what's interesting, the previous core inflation came out at 1.7. So, for now, if by any chance the core inflation comes out the same as, let's say, previous, that's great. We're within the BOC's inflation target. That's wonderful, right? So we can basically continue cutting rates. However, the what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to look at the headline inflation number. Now, the previous number was at 2.5, so I'm kind of expecting this number to come out on the much lower side because of the because, as we know, headline inflation includes food and energy prices. And yeah, energy has been on the downside. I mean, WTI oil has been drifting a lot to the downside in August. Where's that oil? There we go. So now it's recovering. Okay, that's great. But before, in August, I mean, it has been declining and a lot, declining a lot. So in a way, like I said, what I'm expecting here to see is the core inflation to be somewhere around maybe the same number. Maybe even it could tick up a little bit. Let's say go to 1.8 or something like that. But still, basically, will be within the target. Now, but the yes, but the headline inflation, I think it could go closer to target quicker, just because of, like I said, just because of declining oil that we saw throughout the whole of August. So keep your eyes on that. The way this could play out for the Canadian dollar, basically, that could be seen as a bit of weakness in the Canadian dollar. However, not maybe not against the US dollar, but I'll get to that in a bit. But first, basically, I just wanted to show that, look, Euro CAD continues to pop higher, GBP CAD continues to pop, and like yesterday we saw GBP CAD popping beautifully here, breaking key resistance. So this might continue. This weakness in Canadian dollar could a little bit continue. Maybe not to this extent here, but basically, yeah, like I said, we could see that spike, if the numbers, like I said, come out like this. But again, all this is theory, ladies and gentlemen. I keep in my sessions, I keep on telling everybody, wait for the numbers to come out first, and then do something about it if you want to, because better to react instead of, let's say, trying to predict, because otherwise you can get burnt very easily, and we don't want you to do that. So wait for the Canadian numbers. If you are trading something CAD related, wait for the Canadian numbers to come out, and then see what's going to happen there. See the reaction, see the market reaction, let it maybe settle down a little bit, and then you can go from there. Because again, don't forget that the Canadian dollar could not devalue too much against its other major counterparts, just because of oil, just because of recovering oil. Where's that? There we go. Maybe oil will recover a little bit more here, and if so, this could actually help strengthen a little bit the Canadian dollar. So that's where I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, that we could see that maybe initial weakness in the Canadian dollar if inflation numbers come out, as I said. But then everybody will look at oil. Okay, oil is kind of rising as well a little bit. So let's this is where, like I said, this is where Canadian dollar could strengthen again a little bit. So maybe we could see some, like I said, a false breakout somewhere or something, or like a big tail on the on a daily candlestick. So just keep that in mind. And quickly picking up on U.S. data today, retail sales, yes, those are currently expected to come out on the lower side. And industrial production is expected to improve a little bit. So, okay, this is a little bit an interesting situation. If in general the US numbers come out on the lower side, this of course could play out as a bit of a weakness for the US dollar. We could see this one drifting lower. In my sessions, in my live sessions, which you can always join every morning on our YouTube channel. I said already before that, look, we are at a very interesting spot here in the US dollar. And if we clear this territory, which is roughly between the 100.30-40 levels, then yes, of course, it opens up the door to the psychological 100 zone. And yeah, we could end up going there, maybe even below that. Ideally, I would like to see a move towards that area. But hey, for now, let's keep an eye on this. Again, it's a critical area of support. If that gets cleared and we stay below it, and let's say if the economic data does support the weakness, further weakness, then hey, we could see US dollar drifting lower. And in terms of USD CAD, this is what I'm saying. So weaker Canadian dollar and a weaker US dollar, it's like who will outpull who. In this case, I think that, yes, like I said, if the Canadian dollar comes out, let's say, if the inflation numbers come out not in favor of the Canadian dollar, then we could see a nice spike here, initial spike to the upside. But then if, let's say, oil is still rising, still recovering, then maybe this could get, this pair, for example, USD CAD could get held somewhere near my EMAs right here, and then, like I said, then we could see a shift back down, basically shift in terms of the US dollar could get weaker, and we could see a move back down. But again, that's only in that scenario, if, let's say, the US dollar comes out, the US data comes out on the weaker side, and the Canadian numbers come out not in favor of the Canadian dollar. And like I said, if the two weak currencies, like I said, would start battling it out. And this is what I'm kind of thinking that it could potentially happen. Again, as I always say, wait for the numbers to come out and then do something about it. Don't try to go in before, because otherwise it could mess it up very quickly. But in general, of course, do not forget about the upcoming Federal Reserve interest rate decision tomorrow. So yes, Fed meeting. Of course, a lot of things could be waiting. A lot of instruments could be waiting and until they would do something up until that meeting, basically, and then then they will decide what to do. But of course, a few little jumps here and there in terms of economic data we could see today. And we could see a few shifts in these pairs like USD CAD, given the important data sets which are coming out today as well. Of course, like I said, the Fed tomorrow is the most important, but today as well, some action could be seen. So keep that in mind. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you found it useful. Look, if you have any questions or comments, just comment below in the comment section, and yeah, we can go from there. So in terms of, let's say, ideas in terms of, or where do I think it could go, I already described, depending on the scenario. But hey, we try not to give advice. We try just to kind of, I just try to share my thoughts so that you could build your own idea on it. So or you pick up a little bit of information here and there and everywhere, and then you build your own opinion and you decide because you know yourselves better. We're not here to advise. So, ladies and gentlemen, so yes, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that. So I will be back with some more of these videos later on. So yes, hopefully you will enjoy these later on as well. So yes, thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.